Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mindful Journeys. If you have found us here on YouTube or on Facebook, you might also want to check out our website at mindfuljourneys.biz. I am Karen Olish, and I offer one-on-one counseling, couples counseling, and I will have a new class starting called Mastering Your Mind. That's coming up soon. So make sure to check the website for more details on that. So each week, you're going to see 3 videos from me, and these will all be posted on the website, Facebook, YouTube, so you can find them in those places. They'll be archived on my website. And then you'd need to go back to YouTube to view them. Once the week is over, there will be a new set of videos. So the goal here is to have a wisdom talk, a meditation practice, and a yoga asana practice. And it will be a themed practice. So each of those things will be built around a theme. So you might want to go ahead and grab a journal. So if you need some time to do that, feel free to pause the video. We're going to be working today on the theme of our unresolved stories. So the reason that we're doing a wisdom talk, a meditation, and a yoga asana practice is because once we can get to the core issue that's unresolved, then we can begin to reprogram that issue in 3 different ways. By finding some proof, by doing some meditation and some yoga, because those things will change our brainwave states from the beta state, which is our active conscious brainwave state, to the alpha and theta state, which that's where the reprogramming starts to happen. You're in a more suggestible state during the morning time, right when you've woken up, during the evening when you're laying in your bed getting ready to fall asleep, but also in a meditation or yoga practice. So we're going to be working with these strategies for today's practice on unresolved stories. So go ahead and grab your journal and we'll get started. So the goal of this exercise is really to take those stories that we're telling ourselves and try to get at the root cause of that story and then reprogram that story so that we can have greater success. So during this week, I want you to think of something that's going on in your life that's maybe not been resolved or has been going on for a while. And that could be something that's happening with your partner, another person, a conversation that you keep playing over and over in your mind, or maybe a situation that's happened. And you could really choose, any one of these things, that's making you feel unresolved in some way that, is really touching you. You're ruminating about it maybe, and you feel like you'd really like to move past it, but you're not sure how. So you can go ahead and pause the video at this point and take some time to reflect and record that unresolved situation into your journal. And as you're recording that situation, then try to also isolate the problem and the emotions that you're feeling. So as an example, let's take Cara. Cara has been struggling to find a new job. She's been out of work for some time. She's even having trouble bringing herself to even looking for a new job. Instead, she's been procrastinating, right? We all do this when there's something challenging that we're having trouble with. She's been cleaning her house. She's been fixing things that need to be fixed, like replacing that garbage disposal that wasn't working. She's been helping out her friends, right? Taking them to their appointments or just meeting with them because they're going through a hard time or they need an ear to listen, right? So she's using all of these different things to distract herself from finding that job. She said it's kind of sabotaging herself by filling her days with these different activities, and that leaves her very little time to look for a job. Her savings are almost gone now, and she's starting to really panic. And she's finding that these emotions are coming up of like anxiety and panic, but she's also feeling quite depressed and down on herself because she hasn't been able to achieve this goal of finding a new job, but she's not sure why she just can't bring herself to do it. So what Cara needs to do now, and what you'll be doing next, is you're going to try to discover the meaning that you're giving to this unresolved issue. So what stories are you telling yourself? Cara is telling herself that she's not good enough to find another job. Or she often thinks that she's stupid. Maybe she's had some past experiences that made her feel stupid or not good enough. And so those stories are so embedded in her life that she's not able to go out and find that job. So in order to find a job and look for a job even, she would need to feel like she was good enough and smart enough. And so now you might want to pause the video again and just take a few moments to write down some of those stories that you're telling yourself and see if you can discover what thoughts are at the root of the problem. Depending on the unresolved issue you're working with, you might feel like you're a bad person or, that you're not good enough or that you don't have what it takes to do X, Y, and Z, whatever that unresolved issue is. Or maybe you're feeling unlovable or, in conflict in some way. So really try to get to the root of the problem and then start the video again once you've got that root written down in your journal. So you're back, and the next step is to ask ourselves the following question. Can you know with 100% certainty that this is true? So Cara would ask herself, is it 100% true that I am not good enough, that I am not smart enough to get a job? Most likely the answer is no, right? We can probably find lots of different areas in our lives when we have been good enough, when we have been smart enough, when we haven't been alone, when we haven't been abandoned, when we haven't been unloved, and all of those stories that are in there. But our brain doesn't really accept this until we kind of dig out some proof. Our brain wants some proof, right? So now we've brought it from the subconscious to the conscious mind by exploring what was taking root in ourselves. And so for this next piece, you're going to take a few moments to write down 3 pieces of proof that contradict the story that you've been telling yourself. For example, Cara could say, well, I was good enough or smart enough when I gave that presentation at work and everyone told me I did a great job. Or I was good enough, I was smart enough when I got a positive review from my boss during the evaluation. or I was good enough and I was smart enough when I pitched a new idea to my whole team and it was accepted. So now Cara is starting to change her story about herself by emotionally reprogramming her stories. So go ahead and pause and write down 3 pieces of evidence that you can find that go along with the root problem that you've identified for yourself. So after you've written this evidence down in your journal, you're going to read through it, right? This is one of the strategies I was talking about. You're going to read through it once or even twice a day, maybe in the morning, right when you're waking up, or in the evening when you're laying down to sleep, because these are our most suggestible times. And this is when we're going to be able to take our brain waves from that beta state into the alpha and theta state that we need to reprogram our stories. Now, research shows that it takes 21 days to reprogram a belief or a thought or a story. So this is something that you could commit to for those 21 days if you really want to change this story that you have about your life. Then there are some other ways, as I mentioned, of working with that reprogramming. So not only could you go back through this worksheet or the things that you've written in your journal and read back those positive things that happened that proved that the story wasn't true. And you can also do the meditation and yoga videos that I have for you. So please go ahead and join me for either of those videos if you wish to. And I look forward to working with you some more.